Yes, sir.
I know I can ask questions forever, and probably you wouldn't have answers for them, because it's all new science. But as part of the planning, wouldn't you have to have a buffer zone, like a prevailing easterly wind, not what we normally get unless we have a Santa Ana?
Right.
A buffer zone east of that plant where you don't build anything, just like the Miramar. They don't have anything on either end of the runway for a reason, even though it's open land.
And I think that that's effectively what the 1,000-foot buffer would do. In this particular case, in the eastern zone, we'd probably have, after everything was done, the university, everything, we'd probably have around a 2,000-foot buffer to the west and about a 3,000-foot buffer to the north. And then to the east, it's the lake, which has a park and then nothing else on the other side. Yes,
Where's the location you're talking about, the far southeast? Is it Weesty Road and that road?
Yeah,
Behind, it's actually right adjacent to the OVRP, but it's considerably
Yeah.
higher than it.
this bump out right here is the San Diego water treatment facility at the bottom of the lake. And the property we're talking about is about 14 acres right below that bump out.
Cities, citizens just
Do you have a
live
bunch of maps set?
for those city government. Water rates just went up 18%.
This is Peach right here. And this is all the other.
Amazing.
That's the lake right there. And this is the tree.
Oh, boy.
That's the lake. This is the treatment facility. So when you look, if you all go to the site, if you all go to the page that Teresa's holding up, go to this page and look at the piece that looks round and raised. That's about 14 acres. It's at it's the most eastern edge of Chula Vista. Remember, the wind usually blows east. When you look west, look east from the west. Thank you, Laura, for your help with it. What you see is the big water tanks, and the power lines, and then the pretty hills behind it. That's the power plant we tucked in there on that plateau, which we believe is where when they dug out the dam, they laid all this stuff in 1880. And so it's a little bit raised and above the water table in case it's 100 years flat.
I thought you wanted.
This might sound like a dumb question, but I know that scientists have found certain trees or horticulture of some sort that absorbs and heats up and takes care of pollutants.
Yes.
Is there such forest in these plants that are being considered so that you would put a banner of that, whatever that is?
Well, my department helped re-sign up Chula Vista as USA Tree City by planting about 1,500 trees in the last couple of years. The CO2 and the other criteria pollutants that are generated by these facilities, that's about things like the size of the Brazilian rainforest. It's on a huge scale to do something like that. So every tree is important, and I don't call palms trees. Think broadly. Broadleaf trees, canopies that provide cooling and have leaves, not fronds, those absorb that and they sequester. They hold the carbon and use it to grow. And then when they decompose, they release it. But when do they do that? In the fall and winter when it's far less harmful. So that's the natural cycle of things. So the more trees we can plant when we get into our energy conservation program, like we did for the last few years, we're giving away free trees. You have to plant on your property yourself. If we offer you these street trees in front of your home, we ask you to care for them for 3 to 5 years. Sign up. That's the best thing you can do. It'll help lower your energy bill and it'll suck up those pollutants in your neighborhood.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking about, to be planned in there, not as a thought here in a meeting, but is it planned in to plan? Is it?
No, it's an overall plan for the city, and we would not plant trees in the buffer because they would not be native to the Otay Valley Regional Park. The only trees that are native to the park, very limited, oak and maybe some cottonwood or something. They're always down in the river, very bottom of the riverbed where the water normally would be. In San Diego, you do not naturally find trees outside of the bottom of a riverbed. We just don't have them. So planting them someplace else makes sense in a residential neighborhood where we've already disturbed them, but where we have quality wild, because it extends corridors, extends habitat, and helps clean the air. But when we put them in wildlife open spaces, you radically change the habitat. You create places where hawks can kill things and stuff like that. It's not appropriate.